Welcome, everyone. We are live. It's Thursday. Yes, it is indeed. You see that topic. Woo, I'm about to ruffle some feathers in here today. Polter Blank, welcome to the space. The reason why I chose this topic is because we were talking yesterday, and I just happened to flash back to my Afro puff days, little blue dress, singing at church and at the altar. I just flashed back to that time. But I had a new understanding of what it means. What a friend. Do we understand what a friend really is? Now, we tend, as people, to want to pick up the phone and call somebody when we're having a bit of a rough time. But if you can remember that the principles, mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. If we can remember that those 7 principles are our friend, if we can remember that those 7 principles are our friend, we will turn to those 7 principles. We'll turn to them time and time again, and we will always have the answer. Welcome, kids kidding 22. Cyber. Ow. Oh, Big Mike is in the house. So remember this. When you are going through anything, and listen, it doesn't have to be anything good, bad, or indifferent. It just has to be living. If you're in school and you want to remember what you've learned so you can apply it, and you know what I mean? Well, apply the principles. Well, how do you apply the principles to school? Well, do you know who you are? Do you know why you're there? Do you enjoy what you're learning? You see, when we enjoy what we do, it is easier to do it. Far easier to do it when we enjoy what we do. So what if you had a bully? Well, first of all, you turn within and you remember that everybody's acting according to what they feel. You understand? And when you recognize that portion, now you can apply the principles to subdue your bully. You don't have to use force to subdue your bully. It is all mental work. Put the words in your bully's mouth. How do you want them to behave? Well, why don't you test your skills to see if you can do it? You experience in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you did not have a bully. What if they were your friend instead? But that means you will need to develop a sense of compassion towards you. Why? Because the principle of correspondence says, as within, so without. You see what a good friend that is? It tells you, as within, so without. And you get it within, get the attitude, get the mental attitude within. And when you get the mental attitude within, well, what happens? Then the matching or corresponding behavior is projected to the outside. What if it was a companion you were seeking? Apply the same principle. You see, that friend, the principles that say, trust me, you know who you are. And who you are is how you'll behave, because everything is moving and you're moving from where you are to where, because you're becoming who you want to be. And as that thing that you want to be unfolds, you begin to see the pattern of it. And that pattern will cause you to act, which will bring about an effect. Why? Because you generated the idea of your change. and over and over and over, you do it again. Because as you do it, it now becomes what? A habit. If you make it your habit to turn inward towards your friend, a friend that will never leave you nor forsake you, a friend that always listens and has your back and your front and sides, above and beneath, a friend who says, well, what you are is what you'll do. And that friend always encourages you to be your best. You see, that is the type of friend we are all looking for. But we forget that we already have it. That friend does not judge. The principles do not judge you. Because remember the hymn, it says, oh, what peace we often forfeit. Oh, what needless pains we bear. All because we do not carry everything to God in prayer. So when it tells you that, it's telling you that what you pray for, not beg for, but what you experience in imagination, that is your prayer. What you experience in imagination is your prayer. It is something that comes from the very depths of you. That's what it is. And when you pray, if you read the description under the video on YouTube, it says, because we've been conditioned to call on the name. Just call on the name of Jesus. Now, we want to hear just call on. No, but call with. What is the name? The name is I am. So when you are wanting to change your life, we don't say I want. We say I am. That is what your friend tells you. Your friend says I am. The principle of mentalism says I am. So you call with the name I am, which then your friend says, oh, I am that I am, yes? So what do? You begin to cultivate the mental attitude within. And as you cultivate the mental attitude within, you become it. And when you become it on the inside, you have to act it out on the outside. So your friend every day, all day, is just simply whispering your name. Big Mike. Big Mike, you don't have to walk with that heavy load. Who do you want to become? KZ, who do you want to become? It constantly asks you, who do you want to become? And we had that other song, Tell It to Jesus. Tell it to Jesus, for he is a friend that's well known. You have no other, such a friend or brother. Tell it to Jesus alone. We had that song too when I was growing up. So to tell it to Jesus alone means you don't tell anybody outside of you. Why not? Because people have their own opinions. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, nobody's ever done that before. Well, you're too old for that. Everybody has an opinion. But you see, your friend, the principles, the only thing it wants for you is for you to become the best that you can possibly be. And it says, I have a way of doing things. That's what your friend, the principles, say. I have a way about me. I have a way of doing things. You know my way. So if you know the way of your friend, can you not trust your friend? You see, when we say friend, some of us won't have a positive thing to say. Oh, some people, we just out for themselves. You ain't got no friend. Only friend you got is you. We hear all those things. But the reality is this. The principles are the blueprint for any friend you would like to create in the outside world. Because it tells you, you have to be that friend. You have to become that friend. Why? As within, so without. Plant that seed of friendship, you reap that type of friend. But sometimes we walk into these situations and we have these massive seeds of doubt. Oh, I can't trust you. Why would you say you can't trust them? Because you have a previous experience. And instead of looking through the previous experience towards your friend, which is the principles, you see, situations come, situations go. They change. But you see, your friends, the principles, do not change. You get day and night. You get high tide, low tide. You get seed time and harvest. Winter, spring, summer, fall, I want to spend them all with you. You get the seasons. If you're at the equator, you get sunshine and rain, right? That's what you get. You know your friend. Your friend is reliable. So you use your friend to change your life. Because we're creatures we love stories. And we love to personify things. Because we are persons, so we relate allegedly better to persons. So what better way than to help yourself, than to see the principles as the most faithful person you will ever encounter. Joachim. Welcome, my dear darling stranger. So you see, my beautiful friends, we do not buckle under our frustrations. We put our frustrations into perspective. Your friend asks you, because your friend knows when you're going through something, because as within, so without, and your friend says, you sure? Did you tell this situation how you wanted it to turn out? Or you're just going to go with that? You know that song, Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. That one? Nonsense. I said it. The future's not ours to see. Hello? Experience in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. It's not ours to see, it is ours to live. That's the key right here. When we want to leave things to chance, there is no chance. The principle of rhythm tells you there is no chance. Cause and effect tells you there is no chance. So we don't leave things up to chance. What would you be doing if you became the man or the woman you wanted to be? That is not chance. That is design. So you design your experiences. You want inner peace, and design that. You want peace of mind, design that. You must become the architect of your experiences. Because if you do not, well, somebody else will do it for you. The key here is to live from the inside out. From the inside out. Who do you want to become? That is the question. To be or not to be? That is the question. Yes? Who do you want to be? What do you want to be? If we would ask ourselves that question and answer that question, your friend is so generous and kind. Your friend answers that question and says, oh, show me. Show me what you want to become. And so you adopt the mental attitude of who you want to become. And when you adopt the attitude of who you want to become, and you rehearse that attitude of who you want to become, well, you know that we become what we contemplate. You don't have to hope to become it or wish to become it. You just have to rehearse it, because what you rehearse, you perform. So you want to become that. Well, then, rehearse it. And you will become it, because that is the inevitable outcome. But you see, that's Monday. That's Monday's message. Don't get that twisted. That is Monday's message. Don't you get it twisted. We'll get there. Oh my gosh, we haven't got to Friday yet. Listen, when they come, I write them down so that I know what we're going to talk about. So the thing to contemplate here today, my beautiful friends, before we go out into the world and interact with everybody else, make sure that when you leave the house, you're not leaving alone. Take your friend with you. In other words, acknowledge that your friend is always with you. Acknowledge that your friend is always with you. That is what we do. Why? Because take your friend with you when you're driving. I've seen that bumper sticker, Jesus is my co-pilot. And every time I see it, I chuckle and I'm thinking, ooh. And I'm acting this way. But here's the thing. The friend doesn't judge. Your friend doesn't clutch their pearls and go, who are you? Nah. Your friend just asks, is that who you want to become? Is that who you want to become? And how do you respond? With a simple yes or no. Do you want to become that? Well, if you keep acting in that fashion and walking in that particular mental attitude, well, then inevitably you will become it. So are you sure that that's what you want to become? And this is what gives us the time to ponder what we are as we sit in quiet contemplation. What do I want to become? That is what is so beautiful about the principles. And it's very interesting because, blessings. That's what is so beautiful about the principles. Mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. You see, we can't live outside of those things. Because mentalism would tell you that the all is mind, the universe is mental. You always know that you exist. You always know that you are. And what you say you are, the principle of correspondence will tell you, well, then you have to do that thing because you have to reap what you have sown. You see, when you look at nature and you recognize that you plant apples, you can't get peaches. Well, then take that up to as above, so below. What mental attitude are you walking with on a daily basis? Well, then those are the seeds that you're throwing out into the world. You have to reap that. So this is why it's important to pay attention. And you ask yourself, is this, before you do it, is this the harvest I want? Because I know if I continue with this, whew, I know what will happen. Do I want that? And if you say no, well, then what do you want to become? And then you begin to experience in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. Because that's what we do on a daily basis. Every time we sit and we reminisce about the bad that has happened to us. You see, we think that there's a past. We think that there's a present. We think that there is a future. If you watch SpongeBob, you get it. But we think that those things are separate. When in actuality, what you remember, you redo. What you remember, you relive. So this is why it is important to create the type of memory. And how do you create a memory? You create a memory by making it a habit. You create a memory by making it a habit. Because then you can always recall it. That's what it is to have a memory. And when you recall it, then you redo it. So this is why that friend is so important. It's a friend we all have. Yet, we take that friend for granted. We take that friend for granted because planting and reaping is just so mundane. It's so expected. Like, oh my God, it's like so nature. But if we would understand, comprehend that that's where the beauty is, in the fact that those principles never change. Would you not want that to be your friend? So that you can say, oh, look, I can pick up the phone. Joseph Niles said, what he said? I forget the song he used to sing. But this is where my mother comes in. Because she would remember. But along the lines of you could pick up the phone and call Jesus. You could pick up the phone and call God. God always answers. You're never going to hear the party you're trying to reach is currently unavailable. You will never hear that if you're calling your friend. You're never going to hear, one moment, please. You're not going to hear that either. You're going to hear, hello. Oh, okay, let's do it. Hello. You could do Lionel or you could do Adele, but you're always going to hear, hello. Yes. Well, tell me more. Here, let's get some popcorn. That's what you will always be met You're never put on hold. There'll never be any of that elevator music. There's always that instant response. Yes, tell me. Tell me who you want to become. And then you learn the beautiful art of meditation, aka contemplation. Just having that inner conversation with your who? Friend. So don't leave home without your friend. Walk with your friend. And he walks with me and he talks with me. And he tells me that I am his own, and the joy that we share as we tarry there, none other. You got it, baby, has ever known. That is what happens when you walk with your friend. He walks with me, talks with me. And you will watch yourself become. And you'll look back and say, oh my goodness, my, how I have changed. And you will feel good. And walking with your friend every day also helps to keep you in a particular mental attitude. Test it out and see. Yeah. Cyber, that is so true. You got a friend in me. Yeah, that one. Isn't that Woody? Toy Story? Yes, it is. Oh, I did not forget that you are my friend, sir. Yes, you're my friend. Even on the days you want to bite me, you're my friend. I know. I know. What about you? Listen, Ursula, darling. Anywho, I trust that as you go through the day today, you will not do so alone. Remember that the principles are always with you. The law is always with you. The law cannot leave you. It doesn't take a break. It said the law doesn't say, I'm going on holidays. I got me an appointment for the beach. The law doesn't say that. The law says, I am with you always. That's what your friend is. Now, you can call the law Jesus if you want to. But again, that has its own connotation. You say Jesus, and some people crash out. But I use it in such a fashion, in a way that I can apply it to my life. Because when you hear the name Jesus and you read the stories about Jesus, what good is the story if you cannot apply it? So then you have to make it in such a way that you can apply it to your life so that you change. That's the whole point of that friend. And before we go, let's welcome everyone. We got Kids Kidding 22. Cyber is in the house. Joachim is in the house. What about my dear darling Melly Mel? Even my sweet Liza. Wait a minute. Mr. Stafford Jr., the better man. Oh. Twitter is for the replay gang, as always. We've got my sweet Ursula, darling. Ray Ray is in the house. My sweet KZ, Big Mike, is in the house. We got you in the house, right? I know that Dr. Jenny was here. I don't remember who else. Because I did see some people pop in this morning. I'm trying to slide on my computer screen. I got to use my mouse. What? Anyway, I'm so used to touching screens. Ursula, remember, we're online with YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, and what you say is recorded. So, did you want to share something, sweet darling, before we go?
No, ma'am. I was just gonna wait until, you come over here.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Okay, well let's get her done, y'all. Let's get her done. So remember, when we go out into the world today, you're not alone. Ow. You're not alone. What does he say? I am who? I am here with you. Who is I am? Remember that. I am is not something cool or fun to say. Contemplate that. Ponder that today. Every time you say I am, what are you saying I am to? Yeah. Anyway, that's your friend. You get up, you lay down, you walk, you talk, you cross the street, you go with your friend. Take the principles with you always and use them. That's what they're there for. We've got this friend and we're like, I'll drop you off today. Maybe I'll use you today. I don't know. And then you want to call your friend when you have a problem. But don't wait till you have a problem. Did you know that if you walk with your friend, you can circumvent or mitigate problems? Oh, contemplate that. So, with that, I bid you adieu, my beautiful friends. I do have some dough that I just made before I got online. Yes, I did, because somebody said, "Ma, your pizza's real good. Can you make some more?" I said, "When?" He's like, "Tomorrow," which is today, because he told me that last night. I said, "Well, let me feed that sourdough starter." And so I fed it and it bloomed so beautifully. And so I doubled the recipe. Oh, yes. It's resting at the moment. So now when I get offline, I'll stretch and fold and let it double in size. I'll pop it in the fridge. You see, people say, "Well, how do you do so much?" I'm like, I'm not doing anything. The dough is doing its own thing. It's doing its own thing. All I got to do is dress it. It's doing its own thing. Do something that you enjoy. That's part of what your friend encourages you to do. You learn so much because you begin to understand when you feel dough in your hands, the more you touch that dough, the more familiar you get with what your dough is going to feel like because it is relative to you. But I was out here trying to make sourdough like Susie. I can't make sourdough like Susie because she lives in a whole different climate from me. Her kitchen is a different temperature from mine. So my sourdough will never be like hers. So I had to understand that my life is my own and I have to live it in such a fashion. Wait, you're saying sourdough can teach you all that? It sure can, if you're willing to learn. If you are willing to learn, sourdough will teach you everything you want to know. It is a case of cause and effect. Yes, a flour that is alive and water in equal amounts, depending on if you want it fully hydrated or partially hydrated, thick sourdough starter or watery. You decide. That's up to you because you're going to be baking different things with it. So you've got to know how yours feels and how it responds, which means you have to know yourself at every turn. Mentalism is right in your face telling you, who are you? Huh? Do you know who you are? The principle of mentalism is there telling you that all the time. I saw this thing the other day with Gordon Ramsay and this young man who made a pumpkin carrot cake. Do you know how long he practiced making this cake? 5 years. 5 years. Do you know what kind of person? Do you know what he became in those 5 years? Do you know what he learned about himself in those 5 years? So that when Gordon Ramsay bit into that cake, he knew who that man had become. But here, we think we can't learn from everything around us. He had to become something in order to get that cake to become what he wanted it to be. He had to become it first. Do you know how many times he failed? Have mercy. Had he had given up, Gordon Ramsay would never have said, "Oh my God, this is amazing." Now we want to give up part way through because we don't see a change. And he spent 5 years. Listen, when your change matters to you, you put the time in. And what's the time? Just getting the mind right. He had to get his mind right to get the cake to come out the way it did. Because he could not walk in, I hate this cake. It's kicking my ass. No, he said, okay, what did I do there? What worked? So he had to observe himself. You see, when I tell you the principles are everywhere and you can't live outside of them, it's the same thing for a mechanic. Same thing for a plumber. You've got to know who you are. And you apply you to the situation. Anyhow, don't let me preach it here today because it's a little early. I don't want to upset my Roo because when I get all excited like this, he gets excited too. Oh, yes, he does. I get excited, he gets excited. So I try to stay as calm and level-headed as possible so that he is calm too. Because if he's calm, I can pick him up and kiss him. If he's a little too excited, he's going to peck me. But that's another day. See, I had to learn that too through the power of observation and checking myself and realizing that, oh my God, if I freak out, he's going to freak out. So then I had to become calmness. Change my breathing, everything. Change what thoughts I was having. Oh no, I'm scared. Is he going to peck me now? No, I just had to sit there and breathe. I had to become that. The rooster whisperer. You know what? Let me stop. But you get what I'm saying to you. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. My dough is calling. Anyway, I couldn't help myself. Anyhow, remember, check out the website, positivelyangela.com. Send me a note. You can order your Oracle cards from there as well. And you know I always look forward to hearing from you and your feedback in my DMs, truly. And I just want you to know we'll be here again, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Fanbase. And you know I love you. Mwah. Much love to you all.